or Björk?
My name is Björk, and your television is just
Melanie Fortinas. Welcome back to the Cup in My Uniqas. On this episode, I'll be doing a tier list based on my special interests. If you don't know what a special interest is, I'll put the definition up on screen, and I'll basically be ranking them based on how long they lasted, the quality. So now that we got that out of the way, let's explain our tier. First one is an era-defining special interest. This special interest is the one that kind of defined my adolescence and kind of informed my taste. The reason why I say an era-defining special interest is due to how long it lasted, like my tweens to early teens. Ranked below it is a strong special interest. It's not as iconic as an era-defining special interest, but it's still strong enough to last more than a few months. The third one is a moderate special interest. The reason why I call it moderate because it's not as strong as the first two on the list, but it's not as weak as the last two on the tier. It's just in the middle, and the tier below that is probably lasted a week. It's the type of special interest where it didn't last long as I like to. Like, it had that initial intrigue where it lasted, and it had a couple fan content and other things, but either the fandom was too small or wasn't enough quality fan content to sustain me. And the last special interest is the 1 day special interest. It isn't really literal when I say it's a 1 day special interest, but rather it's a special interest that didn't even have enough content to sustain itself, so it probably only lasted a pretty short while. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get to our ranking. The first one up on the list is that anime. It's My Hero Academia, and for this, I'll place this on an era-defining special interest. The reason why I say this, it's because it's like another one of the animes that I fixated on heavily. Mostly because it was in 2020 where MHA was really popping, and I was inside. So I was gorging on any sort of MHA fan content that I could get, and spoiler alert, it was a lot. The second one is Vocaloid, and that's an easy era-defining special interest. The reason why I say this is because, one, it had music. The reason why I say Vocaloid is a era-defining special interest is because it had an endless amount of fan content. Mostly, for one, their voice banks. They didn't have canon anything. I got infinite videos with these voice banks of in different scenarios, them singing different music from different genres. My personal favorite was Len and Rin Kagime. I don't know why. I liked Miku also, but I'll put it up on screen. But yeah, that was eating so bad. And also Meltdown, that was too good. Songs that were produced by the community kind of fed the special interests and made it stronger. On top of that, there's also numerous amounts of fan art, fan comic, other things that made this interest last so long. And so I feel like that kind of defined an era also. And even though I'm not as interested in it now, I still cherish it in my heart because it expanded my music taste. It kind of jumpstarted my music taste because it exposed me to lots of different genres that I wouldn't been privy to. I honestly thank it for it. Thank you, Miku. So anyways, the next one is Unicorn Wars. I'm struggling between putting this in strong and moderate. I'll put this in a moderate special interest. The thing is, I love Unicorn Wars. I actually watched the movie. Yes, it's one of the few special interests that I watched the source material of. I mostly got it from secondhand, the same thing with My Hero Academia. I watched the whole movie. I was initially interested in it after seeing it on TikTok and seeing this movie reviewer say it, and I watched it. I loved it. Oh my gosh, I loved it. Because the story is so good. It's so compelling. is so compelling. But like, what made it a moderate special interest is that it didn't have enough fan content, or at least English speaking fan content, to sustain it for me. Heavens knows, I was scouring through TikTok trying to find as much Unicorn Wars content as I could. Yeah, so it's going in the moderate one. The next thing up is gorillas. And that's an easy era-defining special interest. Because like the thing is, gorillas been around for a long time. So it inevitably going to have a slew of fan content. And the thing is, I joined in a semi-early way. I joined at the humans era and the beginning of the now era, or now phase. And I was hooked because I seen their old lore to like up to the now and humans phase, and I was like in love with it. It had the two things that I really loved: animation and music. Knowing animation and music, and so them like combining it practically hooked me. It was basically crack for me. And like enough content and fan content for it to sustain itself for me. Like I watched this one YouTuber who like did comic dubs, and like this one guy who had like a very accurate 2D voice for the time, and I remember watching him a lot. Not to mention, there was like a slew of Gorillaz music on SoundCloud. I didn't have a playlist, but like a listening list of Gorillaz songs, remixed, unabridged, basically everything. Basically everything Gorillaz I listened to on the way home while doing my homework. It's also one of the other eras that heavily informed my taste moving forward, especially my music taste, because I realized I liked it pretty avant-garde. The next one is Chibo or Cibo Matto. I'm torn between putting this in a moderate, strong special interest. Oh shoot, my jaw is cracking. I'll put this in the moderate special interest. The reason why I say this is because there isn't enough information about them that's like easily available to me. But like, don't get it twisted, I still listen to them and I still like their music. If you were to see my previous videos, you would have heard my background music, and half of it is Cibo Matto. The other is like some video game OST, because like their music is so good. Like, go check them out, go follow them on Spotify. However, it's moderate because like it didn't have enough fan content to sustain me. So yeah, the next one is Friday Night Funkin'. I was like drawn to Friday Night Funkin' because it was like popping off in 2021, and I remember watching videos of it, like videos of the gameplay, me listening to the music, and it was like so good, even though it was like beeps. And the reason why it isn't that strong, it was riding off the coattails of like this MHA era type thing. I did a bit of fan art for it. The next one is Steven Universe Future. However, the reason why it's still strong is still Steven Universe Future. However, the reason why it's still strong for me was mostly because of the round table and like them supplying so much theories. I didn't exactly make an OC, but I made some fan art of Steven that I still feel like it's so good. It still holds up in terms of like the lighting and other things. And also, I ate up every animatic I could find. Paranorman. It's an easy one. The next one is Bjork or Björk.
My name is Björk, and your television is just about to explode.
Yes, and I'll put this in the. It's a strong special interest. The next one is Homestuck, and it's a mix between the two upper tiers, but it's mostly this. I'll put this one in a strong special interest. This, I also had a deep fixation of Vaporwave. I don't know why, but I loved the aesthetic. And I remember using it on everything, my IMVU accounts, my old Tumblr that I eventually revamped. Welcome home. Like the moderate special interests, it's a bit more recent. Like, I'll tell you how much this fandom fucking crashed and burned. I'll put up this video and link that video in the description to tell you how. Next is Winx Club. It's a moderate one. Next one is BTS. And this one is an era-defining special interest. The thing is, the reason why is that BTS has such an expansive fandom, like a big fandom, so it eventually would have like a lot of fan content. I also joined around 2017, where they had like a lot of things where they were going to America, and so they had a lot of interviews where they were in America and they were like speaking English. I also had like a mild bias towards RM. Next on the list is Melanie Fartinas. Oh my gosh, I might trigger some crybabies for this. Like, don't get me wrong, this is going in strong special interests. I took notice of her around 2017, like the end of the crybaby era and the beginning of the K-12 era. Like, I was already like listening to her past music, but like when I remember her like teasing K-12, and it reignited my interest again. When she released it, I was like, oh yes. However, I remember hearing the allegations, and due to me being like freaking 10, I accepted everything without critical thinking, like the fake stories, and my interest reignited in her again when she had a new look, and I was like, oh cool. However, at that time I also seen like this TikToker who like told the allegations from like another perspective, and like due to me having that special interest, I was like triggered, like, oh, how dare you. But now that I'm out of it, I honestly believe Timothy more. Like, the thing is, I found Reverse Falls such an interesting concept because, but when I was 11, I always loved the villains more than the heroes, especially in kids media, because like the heroes are like straight-laced and stuff, but like the villains are like, OMG, so cool. To see like the two main characters like as evil, and also the fact that they had such cool designs. For the concept, it was so good. The amount of fan art that came out of Reverse Falls, so good. And I remember eating up those slideshows that had like the wolf and sheep skulls, and that was like, beware the bear, the circles, something like that. And it was like amazing. So the last one is regular Gravity Falls, and it's here. Don't get me wrong, I still watched it and I was so fixated on it daily. It's just it didn't have a strong hold on me as Reverse Falls. However, I still loved it. I really loved Mabel. So yeah. And I loved Mabel because like she was like so rambunctious and like nice. Yet I really hated when I saw like hate videos towards her. Like I really hated when I saw hate videos towards her because I was like, no, that's my bestie. And now, but I'm glad like the fandom is looking back at the Mabel hate and calling it irrational, because like Mabel's like 13, so she ain't gonna act the best all the time.